Deprived. We're all deprived of good MMOs. Please save us, Chrono Odyssey. Chrono Odyssey is a game. Let's talk about it. And yes, the title is a meme. If you know, you know. This game was very hyped up by like everyone, and then just the closed beta test came out. We played it and everyone's disappointed. Like the optimization's bad, very bad. The game doesn't even look remotely good enough to justify running so bad, even at the highest settings. The movement is clunky and janky and all that. Just like in general, there's a lot of jank. The game is very unfinished. But all that aside, let's talk about why this game is important. There's two reasons for that. First one being the less important one is that this is the first ever Souls-like MMO. Have you ever thought to yourself how nice it would be if From Software came out with an MMO, like a Dark Souls MMO? Because a few years ago I have, and basically here it is, that this is the game. This is as close to Dark Souls MMO as we're gonna get, probably. Now for the second reason, this is the first ever, I believe the first ever Korean MMORPG targeted at the Western players specifically. And that's a very big deal because Korean games are normally made for Korean players and also designed and monetized for Korean players. So why does this type of like monetization and design work in Korea but not in the West? And is it true that Koreans don't mind pay-to-win games, that they like them? Well, I got answers to that. First of all, the reason why pay-to-win games work in Korea is because Koreans, they're too busy, they work a lot, and they don't have the time to invest into a game like this, especially a game like, you know, that requires so much time investment, which is basically any MMORPG ever. As a result of that, these games are designed in a way that a Korean player who doesn't have time to play but has money, they can trade that money for time and basically just pay to progress. However, that doesn't mean that Koreans like pay-to-win games. In fact, I personally know a Kakao Games employee, and they themselves do not like pay-to-win. And I've heard from more Korean gamers that they also don't like pay-to-win and even avoid playing pay-to-win games. Can you ask your friend, does he have a favorite genre of game?
RPG.
RPG?
Like single player RPG or?
Don't care.
He doesn't like a pay-to-win system either.
Yeah. But for the majority of people in Korea, if they're busy and just can't find the time to play, you know, maybe they still don't like pay to win, but they're kind of fine with it because there's no other way for them to progress in the game otherwise, right? Whereas us Westerners, we are unemployed, lazy, fat.
Are you fucking trolling?
And all we do is play WoW 15 hours a day, and because of that, we hate playing games where someone can just put in a lot of money and be better than us, you know, when all we do is play 15 hours a day. And like I said earlier, this is the first ever Korean MMORPG made for the Western audience. And what does that mean? That means no pay to win and probably like a little bit different game design as well, because those two things go hand in hand. And I'm not sure what made Korean companies think of trying that, but I guess it's the fact that in the last few years the Korean games that came out have seen a lot of success in the West, but they died shortly after because they were pay to win, and we just hate that. And so Korean companies probably realized, oh, there's a huge demand for MMOs in the West, but they do not like our monetization. So why don't we try and make a, you know, game designed and monetized specifically for them and see how that goes. So they did exactly that, and now it's very important that this game succeeds, because if it does, that means we're probably gonna see more Korean MMORPGs designed specifically for us Western players. And when you think about it, Korea is pretty much the only country left in 2025 that still makes MMORPGs. Like, what else is there? We got Ashes of Creation currently in development, not gonna come out for another 5 years. And if it does, even if the game is good, it's a very niche and it's PvP focused, which most people don't want. And that game, it doesn't matter how good it is, how polished it is, how much stuff there is to do, it's just simply not gonna be able to sustain enough players to make enough money to stay alive. And then we also have the Riot MMO, which comes out in roughly 10 years. Also probably not gonna be good because Riot is more interested in making money than making games. So that means if we want to play any good MMOs before we get completely old, we're gonna have to settle for Korean games and cheer for them to succeed. A lot of people are mad at this game. They're like, oh, I hate Kakao games. I hope this game fails. Relax, my guy, you know, you should want this game to succeed because it is very important. It is a test. They're testing to see if this type of game, right, if they can make a Western game and have it be successful, and if it is successful, we're gonna get more of that. Once again, not gonna deny the state of this game, it's pretty bad. Chrono Odyssey is nowhere near being finished or polished in any way possible. And since they plan to release in the next, I guess, half a year, maybe even a little bit more, it's just not looking good for now, really. Realistically, I don't think that they have time to polish this game for launch, but at least if they can get the game into a playable state with some minor non-game breaking bugs, should be fine, I guess. Now, whether the game's gonna respect your time or not really depends on whether it ends up being pay to win or not, and that depends on whether the game is successful or not, because if the game dies out, or whenever it dies out, it's probably gonna go pay to win, because at that point it's just like, okay, the game's dead, let's just make all the money that we can from it before we shut it down, right? But from what I've seen during my time playing the game, it does seem like it's going to in fact respect your time.
Also, warm regards to Stoops, you know?